Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mastermind sessions.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
So today we're going to start off with audio 4. And just a quick recap of audio 3 that we went through in last session. So we talked through the 4 basic concepts and why it's important to go over it again and again, and the importance of it. And the interesting Shaolin monk story, right? Yeah. And that was really interesting. It illustrated why you have to master the basics. What happens to your neural pathways in the brain as you keep going over the information. And then, so that was mainly CD4.
Yeah.
Sorry, CD3. And then audio 4, what we're going to be doing now is really getting deeper into law of attraction, vibration, frequency. Of course, we're going to recap the 4 basic concepts as well. We're going to keep going over that over and over and over again. So let's begin.
Let's begin, yes. So this is track 1 to 3, okay? So we're going to cover tracks 1 to 3 of CD4. So my question to you guys is, how did the secret society members learn this information? Yeah, I'm very
once more.
So Katie talks about the secret societies. So
yeah.
you know, the reason why he wants us to know how the secret societies learned this information is because it worked. And so he's just teaching us ways on how we can learn the information as well. So can you remember the methods they used in the secret societies for learning this information?
And this question is important because many of these methods that he's teaching is actually the ones that we're actually having to implement to teach this to learn this material. So we also
one of them is,
would you mind if I translate the question also to Oscar in each question? So Oscar can also. Están preguntando por los métodos en los que las sociedades secretas enseñan a los demás. ¿Cuáles son los métodos? Okay. Okay.
Yo, ¿lo digo?
The balls there.
No, I don't know. Yeah, whoever wants, quien quiera.
Whoever wants to answer that. So any, just even come up with some methods of what they used in secret society.
I
think
one-on-one communication. Oh, sorry, Oscar.
No, Mario, go.
One-on-one communication.
Yeah.
Some workshops, groups, with books, observing people who do it.
Who could do it, yeah.
What else?
That's it. No, as well as a few in there. That's a lot of 6, isn't it? The books. You said most of them, yeah.
Yeah, being an apprentice,
observing
other people do it who know how to do it.
Observing the people who are doing it, not just from a money standpoint as well.
Yeah.
From a happiness standpoint.
Yeah.
Al telephone in the night.
Telephone on the night.
2 o'clock in the morning, get the phone call.
Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning, get the phone call.
Hello. Hi.
Do you want something? What did you observe? Yeah.
So of course we're all excited about all this information and we want to teach it to other people. So what about teaching this information?
It's going to hard to not do this without laughing because it's so many times we know what is what to say, but it's brilliant. A lot of people, is it there about being a teacher? People want to be a teacher.
Can we teach this information? What about teaching it? How effective is that in terms of learning?
You know what? I'm going to say that this is what I want to learn because it's been confusing me from my point of view. Because he's saying people want to be a teacher, but they can't be a teacher because they're teaching wrong stuff.
Yeah.
And they all want to be some people want to be a stand up on the stages. It feels like being a rock star.
Right.
The things that Tony Robbins, a lot of people are doing, they do it by no harm. They don't mean any harm on anyone. But they're teaching wrong stuff and they're teaching the wrong souffle.
Yes.
Teaching you to make the souffle wrong.
That's right. That's it.
I might be going too far. Just let me know to pull back. I'm trying to think of what the correct.
No sé si le han dicho also the apprentice.
Yeah, the apprentice. Yeah. Ahora la siguiente pregunta es cómo, qué pasa con la gente que enseña la información, qué ocurre cuando la gente quiere enseñar la información, cuando aprende que.
No vayas tan rápido.
And you know what happens when you actually teach this information and that you don't really know, as in you haven't applied it yourself and you're just teaching this information. What happens with this information that you give to others?
It's like the game we used to play as kids. When you tell one person, is that the right one?
Yeah.
It's on the you tell the one person, and then you tell another person, they tell another person, and then that person will get up to tell the story. But when they get up to tell the story, it's nothing like what the original method is, and that's the method of teaching today, where people are teaching all wrong stuff.
Yes.
And some people, if you're a real buffoon or an idiot and you hit it right, you've done it by mistake. You haven't done it from the original method that he's teaching. You've fluked it, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. It's like Chinese whisper.
Chinese
you
Yeah.
add your own garbage into it, and then it gets
That's
muddled
it.
up, and then it's nothing like the truth.
The original story.
Yeah.
And that's the method of teaching today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So all your old thought patterns, your
Your old
beliefs, your
habits.
old programming, that all comes into the teaching. And so you're not really teaching the pure stuff. It's all a lot of things are getting everything's
Not the
just getting
souffle.
muddled. Yeah. That's it. So teaching does actually help you to learn, but you've got to know the stuff in order to teach it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He
Like
says,
really-
can I just ask a question? He says about teaching, the best way to learning is by teaching it. But is he saying only teach it when you understand the information correctly to then make new neural pathways? Is that wrong, or is that right? I don't understand why he says the best way to learn it is by teaching it, but then he says don't teach it if you don't learn it. So well, where am I going? What have I missed there? Wait, what's he saying?
That's a good question, actually.
I think it's
He'll model it up. He does.
Yeah.
teaching to yourself. It's like
Yeah.
talking it out loud.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna translate some things to Oscar by text. Oscar, hay como un mensaje.
Thank you.
You can read it in Spanish, so you can follow up.
Thank you.
Oh, it pops on the screen, is it?
Yeah, in the chat.
Oh,
in the
okay,
chat.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so I
Thank you.
just have it because it's been bugging me not bugging me, but I'm trying to listen to it, and I'm sat there and I'm writing, or I've got Baroque classical music on, or I'm in a hot tub, or I'm walking down the street, don't go for a run, or in the coffee shop, and I don't understand that difference. Does he mean you teach it? Yeah.
I think what Mario said was good, because Mario, you said about teaching to yourself first, isn't it?
Yes.
So there is a form of teaching going on, even when you don't know the information as much, you haven't applied it. But I think the best thing is teaching it to yourself first before you teach it to others. Because once you've taught it to yourself and you're applying it, this is just my understanding. I'm not saying it's the right.
Yeah.
If you teach it to yourself, and then you're teaching it to yourself and you're applying the information, then you can teach to others. So even just teaching to yourself, you learn.
Because I fluked it with some people who are teachable.
Analysing it.
When I talk about the information, and all of a sudden I get on a roll, it's like a talkative state, and it's I sort of fluked, not fluked, but I've said things to people, and it's stayed there. So is that what he means by teaching it? I haven't explained that very well, have I? Yeah.
An example, actually from Kevin Trudeau, from the course that I'm doing. It's one of the exercises was to read a book, and everything that resonated with me, I should mark it. And then once I've done it, I should reread all the marked spots or phrases, and then say out loud why I marked it. And by doing this, I was talking, first of all, I was reading out loud and thinking about it more, and more stuff came up, which I think made more sense to me. So it was more ingrained, and it's like, think about what you read, but even when you speak it out loud, more senses are activated, and it goes through your bones into your head,
ingrained, but
build better neural pathways. So
Yes.
that's
the really good point, like here is like you can, what Kevin says, no, you can really teach something you really don't know. I think that's the super key. Oscar is saying that first you should learn yourself, and then if you manifest that and you have the requisites or something, then you can teach it. No, so
Teach it. Yeah.
so that's probably, so it means teach it to yourself, and then when you know it well enough, you can then that's what he's saying basically. Learn to make the souffle first, then you can
Then you can
others.
Yeah.
do
Otherwise,
this.
teaching others to cook a souffle in the wrong way, and then nobody will be able to cook a souffle. So
It's also because they've
Yeah.
learned the wrong information as well.
Yeah,
The
don't
gospel been
don't
taught
teach
the
something that you don't know, that you can show in your real world, that you have it.
Yeah.
I see it so often when he said that, and when it's in our sort of mass in our life now. It's amazing how much you see that. You know, in my world with snooker, with people who never really done anything with snooker, but they class themselves as a coach. And I look at these people, and honestly, and they never turned professional, but they were the best in Wales at 35, 40 years ago, and they walk around as if they've achieved something. They never actually say, you know, walked out in front of. They haven't felt that. You walk in front of 1 million people. How does that feel? They don't know what. So they're teaching wrong stuff. But people still go to them for lessons, thinking. Same as Tony Robbins, never actually made any money, but he taught people how to make money, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the money from his seminars, didn't he?
Yeah.
a lot of
Holding
money
his
from
motivational seminars.
the motivational seminars.
He hasn't made money in the real business world here.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Des.
Yes, very good point. So what is better? Do you learn by, number one, applying the information you learn, or two, by teaching the information without application?
That's a pretty obvious answer.
Applying.
Yeah.
That's the most powerful way to learn this information, is by doing it yourself.
Doing it yourself, that's it. So anyone been to a big seminar, like a motivational one?
Seminar. Has anyone of you been?
I bought tickets once, and because of COVID, it didn't go through.
Oh.
I wanted to go and see. I can't even remember his name. It was one of the snooker boys I wanted to go, and I can't remember who it was, but I bought tickets. That's as far as I got.
Nice. Oscar was in the Stair and Jerry Hicks, right?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You went to that one?
In Los Angeles.
In where?
In California.
California.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, gosh.
Can you ask Oscar, how did he feel walking out of there? Did he feel like it was one mind in the room? Did he feel like it was, did he feel uplifted? Did he
¿Cómo me
feel,
sentí?
Yeah. La pregunta para ti, que te pregunta Jimmy, es ¿cómo te sentías en el seminario, si te sentías elevado?
Pues es curioso porque todo en inglés, no entendí ni papa.
He didn't speak English because so he didn't understand anything.
Así que solo podía poner atención a cómo me sentía.
Yeah.
Y fue increíble ver cómo se movía la energía, cómo me sentía yo. Fue precioso.
Awesome. So he was just paying attention about how he was feeling, but he felt like so uplifting, and even though he didn't understand anything, but he really felt like the energy.
Wow, that's good.
That's
Benefited from the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I actually went to Tony Robbins' seminar, a 3-day event. This was years ago.
Tony Robbins.
And I did come out totally motivated, but I didn't know what the hell to do. You know?
All suicide for the window.
So for
and they come out and they're motivated idiots.
For 2 weeks, I was like,
and you go to these boring seminars.
Yeah, do you know the energy? I must admit, on a positive note of Tony Robbins seminars, he really is good at creating that positive energy. There were thousands of people in the Excel Centre in London, and it was like just like the energy was great. So when you got back for 2 weeks, I was on a high. But I had no understanding about all of this, about energy, nothing. I'd done no work on there was no personal spiritual growth being done at that point. It was just my cousin wanted to go, so I went with her. And for 2 weeks, I was on a high, and I couldn't explain. I didn't know why. I was feeling so high, but I didn't know what to do. So after 2 weeks, just went back to normal.
Maybe if you would have thought of what you wanted at that moment with all that energy, it would have come quicker.
That's it. Yeah. And I had no idea, what to do. So if I had done that, I would have probably manifested something.
Yeah, it's cool though, because he's bang on, isn't he, Kevin?
Yeah.
You come out, you go to a boring seminar, and you teach you technique, but you're bored. You can come out flying and.
But not
actually do it. You're not doing anything.
Not doing anything, exactly. Yeah. You're just drunk on the high, on the energy for a while.
Cool.
So some of these big seminars, they're very ego driven. They're, But as you apply and start manifesting your desires, what Kevin was saying in this CD was that your ego will reduce and your desire to hold big seminars may reduce. So, you know, when you really start applying it, you may find that the desire to be speaking in front of big audiences may reduce. Now, he says may reduce. So I think some people may still have that desire to do that, and that's fine. Yeah, but that's what he was saying. So this is quite an obvious answer, but just want you to sort of think about it again. So why do you listen and read information over and over and over again?
That's a question.
So why do you listen to and read information over and over and over again?
Okay. I'm translating in text.
Once.
Me and Mario stay quiet.
Because every time you read something, you are in a different unit of time and you're a different person, and you will read different or catch on different stuff. You know, it's that's why it's always a different book when you reread it.
Yeah.
Your brain needs
Because
And you feed your mind every day too. It's not only you need food every day, but you need feed your mind every day too as well. So
your brain needs new information every day, and then he goes back and says, correct that. Your brain needs information every day, not new information, because you need to keep telling. You need to ingrain you to neural pathways, because when you go into, he doesn't say this bit, when you go into the world and normal people, you can then start attracting what they're doing, what they're feeling. So you've got to, in effect, brainwash yourself into books and audios and seminars.
Yeah, that's right.
You're either growing or you're dying.
You're dying. That's it.
Because we're growing beings.
And Oscar, were you going to say something?
Yeah, Oscar has, the same thing as Mario said, like we are all eating, like feeding us every day, and we have to choose the information that comes in our sense, no? Eyes, ears. So it's you have to choose very carefully and the instant.
Yes.
So that's the thing. What my opinion is that you have to build a foundation, no? And also I think, I don't know if we've said that is the thing about the sponge. Now, when your sponge is like big, then you apply something, you experience something, and then you have to again feed yourself now with new information.
That's right. That's right.
With the sponge thing, it's 20 minutes, half an hour, and your sponge gets full. And I've done it. I think we've all done it. And then he's still talking, but it's not going in because your sponge. You need to then apply that information or write the information down, and then it drains, and you can start again. That's what he says, the 20 minutes thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And go for a walk and come back.
And also, why does the reason why information feels so new again, even though it's the same information you read before, is because you've got a new set of neural pathways. Remember, when you've learned something new, you formed new neural pathways. So when you start repeating or learning that information again, you're coming from it from a different, you could say different mindset, different set of neural pathways. So you experience it much more differently. So we read, I don't know if you've had this experience, but we just recently just last year, read Claude Bristol's book, The Magic of Believing. And we read it.
I read that through this month.
Yeah, and we read it for the second time. So we read it a few years ago when we first started listening to Katie.
Was it like a brand new book?
It was like a brand new book. Honestly,
same book, Charlie.
Yeah, we were reading it to each other, so we both read it together, and we were like, I don't remember this.
Where was I when I read this page? I wasn't here. The pages are stuck together.
Chapter I don't remember. I remember bits of it, like the mirror technique and a few little bits and pieces, but the rest of the book was completely new. This is brilliant. A new book. Someone's changed the book. So it really is. You really.
I've started to reread Think and Grow Rich a little bit and reread a few things. I don't know if it was in the chapter Imagination or The Sixth Sense, but it says reread this book 3 times, and once you've read it 3 times, you'll never be able to put the book. You never be able to not read it, and that's the same thing as what Kevin said again. Because once you read it 3 or 4 times, then it's a drug, and you get a release of endorphins or a release of chemical release.
Yeah. That's it. So
have any of you had an experience where you read a book in a new unit of time, and what was your experience like?
Like, I think it was the same for me, and I just read also like The Magic of Believing, like again, like this month. But it was the first time in Spanish because I bought it in English, and some words, because I think it's like, I don't know how old is the book, like 50, 60 years ago. So some words I didn't understand. And I think it was the same as happened to you, meenalandkashsavani. To me, it was like, really, I can't believe it, because it's explaining like in each page, one manifestation after each one. So it's like truly like,
I've been listening to the stuff for 5 or 6 years, looking for an answer or looking for a secret or something. And this is what I really listened to so many times, was the 13-minute. Have you seen that one? It was the 13-minute. It's the magic of believing, the whole audiobook. But this is like a condensed 13 minutes.
Oh,
13 minutes.
Wow. How is that?
But I don't know if it's right or wrong, but they put in, and I think I've listened to that about 4 million times. And I started, and they've got this little tiny bit of creepy music, right, like 3/4 of the way in, where it's not creepy. You just get these shivers down the back of your neck, and you listen. And I listen to him now, and I'm like, oh my God, I was nothing like I was 5 years ago. Wasn't ready. Wow. Your Wish Is Your Command was the same. I listened to Your Wish Is Your Command.
But the audiobook is in just 30 minutes.
No, the audiobook is about 2.5 hours.
Okay,
but this is a condensed version, because I'm not at the time, I was not teachable. I'm not listening to 3 hours. It's way too long. So 13 minutes was fine and then I'd replay it and replay it and replay it. And the same as Your Wish Is Your Command, I'd be in the club, I'd have my headphones on, I'd practice snooker 7 or 8 hours, and I wasn't ready. And now when I listen to it, say you got a chemical rush, because you always find something.
Yeah,
awesome, man.
New combination.
Really awesome.
So now we're going to go back to the 4 basic concepts and the 5th one.
Oh, for God's sake.
It feels like we're going again, but we're literally doing what Kevin Trudeau says, you know, go through the information again and again, over and over again.
He messed up on the when he said the 5 basics. He messed up, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Oh, there are 5 basics. Yes, they are. Thanks, Charlie. 5.
So, 4. What's the 4 plus the 1?
Yeah, I think this question should go to Oscar. Oscar, in English, please. You think you could? Si no te ayudo.
Sí, a quien escuchar, la capacidad de aprender, la balanza de entrenamiento, los 4 pasos del aprendizaje y dominar los 4.
Okay, I'm gonna teach you in English. The first one is like, who do you listen to? ¿A quién escuchar? El segundo, la capacidad de aprender es Teachability Index. El tercero, la balanza de entrenamiento es like the Training Balance Scale. El cuarto, los 4 pasos de 4 steps. Y el último es como masterizar los básicos de Master the Basics.
Yo sueño con ellos todos los días.
He dreams in those basics every day.
Yes.
Great, got it.
On point.
So, yeah, go on, that's quick, Karen.
So what does it mean when we say perfect practice makes perfect?
If you're not practicing the right stuff, you're not practicing the right stuff.
Yeah, you're practicing the wrong stuff.
Practicing all wrong information and wrong material.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. And just going back to quickly the 4 basic concepts, I remember Kevin Trudeau did say this, that he says magic will happen as you focus on these concepts. Your thoughts will change and the way you do things. And so just wanted to kind of point that one out. Yeah,
very important.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so this is so the moment you say you got it, what happens?
You don't got it.
You don't got it.
Means you have a low teachability index.
Low teachability.
Straight down to 0.
Exactly. We don't know
which is fine, but make sure you know where you are on the teachability index, and just try and get more and more teachable, because we all have days when we're not teachable. So you've got to make sure you know where you are on the teachability index.
Yes.
And I think that something could happen with someone, for example, that is manifesting so many things in his life. Maybe that's when the danger can come, right? Because you think you know everything, you know how to manifest, and maybe that's what you have to be aware, right?
So Kevin stopped teaching. He stopped teaching his student, didn't he? Who maxed out his £1 million a year income.
Yeah.
And he stopped teaching him until he's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you mind if I say something about snooker for 10 seconds about with the practice makes perfect? When for 4 or 5 years, when I was practicing, I was in my local snooker club, practicing the same thing over and over and over, like straight shots. Funny enough, the basics, hard shots, but I was listening to idiots basically telling me the wrong stuff. I'd done that for years and didn't get anywhere. When I made the decision then last year to practice a little bit at home, but then practice properly in the academy in Sheffield. Wait, is Oscar okay?
Oh, we lost Oscar.
We lost Oscar a bit.
Okay.
We lost it.
Back now. But when I practiced properly and I perfect practice with Ronnie O'Sullivan, Ding Junhui, Judd Trump, when I practiced the good stuff, I was getting results. Hey, Oscar. Yeah, so just to back up again what he's saying, when I was practicing the wrong stuff, and then I practice less now than I ever have, but I'm practicing perfect practice.
Perfect practice, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So I was around the correct people doing the same thing, and the conversations I'm having now with professional snooker players are what you're experiencing, not the guy down the what does Kevin say? The guy down the plant you're working at. He said, I think it's in level 2. Right. He says, you're not listening to the idiots down there. So I was practicing wrong, now I'm practicing correctly. And just a mini example of that fact.
Yeah, wow. No, that's a really good example. Thank you, Jamie. So the other thing was, yeah, he said you won't learn this stuff without learning the 4 basics. And that's why we're going over the 4 basics so many times. And like I think, Mario, you were saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah. You know, you're atrophying. And the reason for that is, you know, energy is always in motion. It's never still. So, you know, you're energetically, you're growing or you're dying. You can't actually be still. You can't be stagnant. So it's just one or the other. And yeah, and we don't know what we don't know. There's always more to learn.
We're stupid.
So moving on to track 5, talks about and introduces us to Earl Nightingale. So who was Earl Nightingale? We would like to ask.
What's the quote?
This is when it gets really interesting, like the track CD4.
Track 5.
Smiles on your faces.
Yes. Yeah. So
do you want the answer to it? Is it?
Yeah.
You get or you become or get what you think about most of the time. Yeah. Was that the question? I didn't hear the question properly.
Yeah, who was Earl Nightingale? So, you know, he introduced us to the strangest secret, which is you become what you think about most of the time.
And it was an LP vinyl record, and it was 60s. And he introduced this stranger secret to and it was one of the I think, did he say it was one of the best sellers at the time? I can't remember. Yeah. It was very So that was a
LP.
The LP
that's
record album.
Can I point something? Because I don't know you guys, but when I listened for the first time The Strangest Secret in English, I listened the first time, you become what you think about. But the second part, like most of the time, I didn't heard it, or maybe I heard it like in other audio. So I don't know if that happened to you when you listen to Earl Nightingale, or it's something that maybe Earl Nightingale introduced later. What was your experience?
Oh, I don't know, because I've not listened to Earl Nightingale for some time, so I can't even remember if this Neville Goddard. Yeah.
Because to me the key was that, because in the Stranger Secrets he said you become what you think about. And then
that's it. You become what
that's it. Wow. That's it. So to me, like the key there, most of the time, no. So that was okay. So that's
Armand.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Hay un autor que se llama Neville, que Kevin no lo nombra, pero es que es buenísimo y dice la receta casi perfecta. Neville.
Neville Goddard.
Sí, ¿le conocéis?
Oscar is asking you if you know Neville Goddard, because he's saying that he almost has the same formula.
Yeah, we listen to Neville Goddard quite a lot. We've gone back into listening to him. So yeah, it is almost similar.
Neville Goddard, I never heard of Neville.
Pero son de los años 50 o 60 del siglo pasado.
He's from the 50s and 60s.
50s and 60s, yeah.
Neville Goddard, yeah.
A good one.
Wise man,
really
wise man,
really
teaching
wise
all about
teachings.
Basically, if you love Think and Grow Rich, you're gonna love Neville Goddard, because he basically teaches the same concepts that Napoleon Hill was saying, and it's that kind of voice as well, and saying about, you know, the power of your mental faculties, the imagination.
He
And
talks a lot about imagination as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Están
There's
diciendo
also
que
on
Neville Goddard
Spotify.
habla muy parecido a lo de Napoleón Hill.
Sí. Sí, sí.
Awesome. Noted.
So what about this is the part of the audio that I found really exciting, just listening to the story about Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. So does anyone want to just share about what they know about Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill, and what have they got to do with each other?
Yeah.
I think we're all answering these questions. I think it's time for you, no? Meenal and Kashmir?
Yeah.
What are you? We would be like delighted.
You caught us.
The roles are reversed.
They know.
Question.
It's in front. You're asking the questions.
We'll say a little bit, because also what we want is kind of, if you get any cognitions around what you're, you know, listening to as well. But so, go on, Andrew Carnegie, who was he?
Andrew Carnegie, the US Steel King at the turn of the century, hired Napoleon Hill on a 20-year commissionary.
And Andrew Carnegie was one of the richest men in the world at the time, and he founded US Steel, and he was part of the Brotherhood.
Oh yes, he was a member of the Brotherhood, secret society, and then he hired Napoleon Hill to go around and interview the richest, blissfully happy and richest successful men all around the world.
Napoleon Hill wasn't a member of the Brotherhood, but he took Napoleon Hill on an apprentice as an effect, and he taught the same techniques that he got taught in the Brotherhood, and he got taught. He got put with the richest people. He asked the richest people, and he got taught all the same techniques.
Yes, all the secret of success.
The same rituals as they're taught in the societies.
Armand, le puedo decir a todos que me encantó escuchar la historia de Kevin, pero en los otros audios, en los del marcador, que tenía la llave del trastero donde estaba todo lo de Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. Oscar is saying that he loved the story of Andrew Carnegie, but not from the Your Wish Your Command audios, in the no score, in the gene level 1.
No score.
Yes, no score one, yeah.
Yeah, when the
I haven't listened to that much.
Is when he's looking for the secret cassette CD audios of Napoleon Hill, and he explains that story that he feels it was amazing.
Yes, yeah. You hear more about Andrew Carnegie on the other teachings after Wishes Your Command. So Kevin Trudeau goes into more detail about that. And Andrew, and I just remember this one thing, and I can't remember which audio it was or what level it was, but he was just saying also Andrew Carnegie would go away to, I think it was Scotland, and he would use that time for like 3 months to really use his mind, basically, you know. In the
I copied it.
And I think he was the richest man in the world, but I think he also worked just from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
With an hour lunch break.
With an hour lunch break.
So he was sorry to say this again, but they're very similar, because he was working on his mind and he was doing the perfect practice, not the 15 hours a day guy.
15 hours a day guy.
If they want to do it, they're in bliss and they're happy doing
they're
it.
They're bliss and happy. It's not even work for them. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was his. Obviously, Andrew Carnegie wrote down what he wanted or done what he wanted, and did it in the physical.
Yes.
Armand. ¿Puedes contar cómo en el libro El tallador de diamantes cuenta que por lo menos una vez a la semana te lo tienes que tomar, aunque estés hasta arriba de trabajo, libre, y por lo menos irte 2 semanas al año libre a la naturaleza, que eso está relacionado?
Yeah. So there is a book, I don't know if you've read it, guys, like it's one of, you know, Kashmir, one of the books Kevin recommends, you know, it's the Diamond Cutter, you know, about this guy.
Diamond Cutter.
And in that book, Oscar is saying that once a week and 2 weeks a year or a month, or I think a year, you have to go to the forest, without anything, no phone, no anything.
Wow.
to rest, and it's really amazing. If you haven't read the book, it's really amazing.
My cousin Michael and his father, they're very much like Bear Grylls, and his father was telling me one of the best days and nights of his whole life, even apart from his kids being born and everything. He went into by the seaside, but there was a forest as well just behind, and he took a tent, 2 beers, no phone, no electric, no, just nothing. Just in the, he didn't know he was doing it, but they went wild camping. So there was no phone, nothing. Exactly what you're saying. You're in perfect harmony with the sea, where you're in the frequency of nature, and your body, I think, responds. I'm guessing this is a guess, but I'm guessing your body responds. I think Bob Proctor mentions it. Why do you feel good when you're with nature in the forest? Or because your body is then put in the perfect frequency of nature. So just a backup of what Armin said with my cousin.
This makes perfect sense. Yeah,
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
and it's the sharpening your axe story. Do you remember the sharpening, like the two men working 9 to 5 or whatever? One was like doing the wood chopping story.
I live by that. Is what I, yeah, because you're working smart. You're not working, and you're doing perfect practice, not working 8 hours and absolutely massive.
Yeah.
It's so amazing on a selfish from my little world, because I've used, not just seen the techniques, used the techniques and seen them work. So it's so powerful to see all that, and to see that perfect practice makes perfect, and to sharpen your axe, not to when I tell that story to people, or people who are ready or want to know what I'm doing, that's one of the examples, because it's easy for people to resonate, because most people work 8, 9, 10 hours a day and don't get anywhere, and some people are working clever rather than more, get better results.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you remember, Napoleon Hill then wrote The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. I read that book a few years ago when I obviously started listening to
They've redone the whole book. You should read it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It was one of the books that took me the longest to read.
Yeah, it's a very small book. Yeah,
it wasn't the easiest book to read either. But that was then. That was in 2013, right? So now, if I read the book, I probably would have new understanding about it and get it even more, new cognitions. So he wrote Law of Success in 16 Lessons, but it wasn't the easiest thing for the majority to actually take in that information. So he kind of simplified it and actually wrote Think and Grow Rich, condensed version of Law of Success.
He didn't simplify it, did he? He got taken off the market. Is that the one?
So he made it less thick. Law of Success 16 Lessons was a big book. So he kind of condensed it in Think and Grow Rich. However, in Think and Grow Rich, it was then watered down, because Henry Ford, who was part of the Brotherhood,
went mad.
He went mad. He didn't want the secret to be out.
He was almost vocal against it.
So can you remember, actually, and this is really genuinely, I'm asking you because I don't know the answer, but I think I do, but I'm not sure. But can you remember, I think Kevin Trudeau did say that when it was watered down, certain words or phrases were taken out of it, and was it things like vibration or?
He said it was edited down dramatically. And he said, because they didn't want, as you said, didn't want it taken out. I don't know the answer to that. But any ideas then, maybe, Mario? What the words?
There was something, I think, in the Gene audios who says, Kevin, about that Esther Hicks, in his book, Ask and It Is Given, he says that for 1 minute of thought equals to 1,000 hours of physical work. Yeah. And that kind of thing, for example, they took out.
It took that out.
I think I will reach. Oscar is saying vibration, the word vibration.
Vibration. Yeah, I think
so vibration got took out. Well, what else got to, what was the other thing you said, Anna?
Vibration and frequency, I think they were taken out.
And the thought and activity, what Arman
said. And what Arman said about the thought.
And then he used the word matter then, didn't he? Because there's the word matters in Think and Grow Rich. So maybe because he says your thoughts, energy goes through matter things, and he says something about that. So maybe that was the little in imagination, that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we did try and find the original. I don't know if we have actually, but it's got
what did you say?
We tried to find the original.
I thought you got it. Wow.
Yeah, no, but I don't think we did. But
it's a black palette.
It's a black cover.
But it does have the word.
But it does have the word vibration in it. So that's why we think maybe I don't know if it was.
We'll never read that book, will we?
In one of the audios of Gene, Kevin says that he was working in the laws of success, but with his adding like the information they took out. So that would be very interesting if Kevin would publish that book.
Oh, yes, that would be amazing. Yeah. Gosh, I hope that happens.
Yes.
Yeah, you can ask him.
Oh yeah, we can.
Lots of personal contact. Right, so let's talk about the secret book in the law of attraction, guys. So what was really good about the book? What was
Let's
really good?
start off with all
Let's
the
start
good
off with the
stuff, yeah.
positive. Yeah, don't be down in the secret just yet. So what was positive about The Secret by Rhonda Burns?
It's a book that was.
It was a book that was designed for the masses. It went out to millions of people. Well, that was
Still can't believe really they brought it out, but I see now why they brought it out. They talked a little bit about the law of attraction. They touched upon it.
Yes.
But the main, they did say that the brain emits frequencies for about 2 seconds.
Really tiny bit.
Brain emits a frequency. Anyway.
I think it's a very good introduction to The Secret and all this stuff. It brought a lot of people into awareness that there is something like the law of attraction and there's something supernatural.
Armand.
Yeah.
Vale, Mario, go.
No, I was.
Sorry.
It's a good introduction.
I agree, Mario, because that's how I got started. I got started on it.
Just by watching the documentary or reading this one book that you're going to be as successful, because it's just one ingredient of all of it.
Yeah.
Es que iba a decir que hay una trampa en Piense y hágase rico.
Ah, really?
Yes, right.
Because in that there is a trump in Think and Grow Rich.
Y la trampa es la siguiente. ¿Cuántas personas conocéis que dominen los 4 fundamentos?
He's asking you like how many people you know that have mastered the 4 basics.
None.
Y entonces, ¿qué mente maestra buena van a hacer todo el mundo por ahí cuando se lee el libro? Es imposible.
And then he's saying that what a good mastermind like everybody's gonna do when the book is gonna...
Fake.
Pero hablas del libro, ¿no? De Príncipe de Rico, ¿no?
Claro, es la trampa que incide mucho en la mente maestra y como casi nadie domina su pensamiento, es mente maestra para crear mal.
Ah, okay.
Yo creo que lo obligaron a hacerlo para que creasen mal la gente.
Oof. Okay, this is not easy to translate, but Oscar is basically what he's saying, that with Think and Grow Rich, like, yeah, you can gather people in, they call the mastermind, right? But if you don't have the correct thoughts, because you haven't mastered the basics, you can create bad stuff.
Bad stuff.
Think about what you don't want.
Lo que hemos dicho antes, primero empieza tú, only you, and después todos.
Yeah, first change yourself and then the rest.
Then, that's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't, you know, I'm so excited to talk about it.
Jamie está flipando. Yeah, me too, Jamie.
Because the first half of CD4, what we're doing, I find good, but the last half.
It's the last half, yeah. Me too, Jamie. It's the last
But I listen. What amazes me is it doesn't amaze me, but the first 20 times I listened to Yours Is Your Command, it just went in there and out there, and then one day all of a sudden I'm listening to what he has to say, and I was creepy.
Yeah, it sort of suddenly hits you, isn't it? That
yeah,
you're listening to. So with The Secret, unfortunately, 95%, this is what Kevin Trudeau was saying, that 95% didn't get any results from reading the book. And that's because, like Mario was saying, it was, you know, it was just one aspect of it, you know, it wasn't the whole picture that people got. So people said, this stuff doesn't work, law of attraction doesn't work, but actually it does, because this law of attraction is operating 24/7, whether we like it or not, it's operating, right? So so he just wanted to kind of touch on The Secret. Yeah.
Is that maybe why they brought it out then, to make people go law of attraction? No.
No, so I mean,
foo it away.
Maybe foo-fooing it, because I talk to people now who have tried the law of attraction. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I think the law of attraction, the Rhonda Burns book, actually did serve a purpose, because it went out to the masses. then there was a group of people who just said, no, this stuff doesn't work. And then there was a group of people who said, I want to read more into this. There has to be more than this.
I was one.
Yeah, and this is what happened to me in Kashmir. Like when we read Rhonda Byrne's books, we were like, first of all, we were blown away because it was the first time we heard this information in this way. And then secondly, we thought, hang on a minute, there's something inside of us that we thought there has to be more. We want to know more. This is not enough. We want to know more. And that's when, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's when Kevin Trudeau came into our lives. And then we really started learning more. And then he
Exactly the same.
a whole lot of books. And so I think, you know, Rhonda Byrne's, I would definitely give her a lot of credit because it's definitely opened the door to so much more. But that's if you choose to want to open the door fully and expose yourself to so much more of this information. There's others that just stopped at the secret and that was it. And they just said, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think I think it's a personality.
Yeah.
Mario, can I ask you a question? Did it start with you with The Secret?
I was just thinking about it. I think
because I know for a fact in my life it was just The Secret, and I watched it 100 times, and then I saw Trudeau, wasn't ready, but then I got addicted.
I think it was the same around the same time that I was introduced to The Secret, the documentary first, and then right after I think the CDs came into my life. It's true.
So it did open the floodgates for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but 95%.
I was so high after the movie.
Yeah,
me
too. Big effect on us too. We
Me
watched
too.
it
I think I watched it 100
I was like,
times.
Mom, you have to watch this. I remember showing it.
Yeah, me too. I was like, you watch the documentary, it's amazing.
Yeah, constantly watching it. Yeah.
I said my mum, I said, you've got to watch this. You've got it, because she wasn't.
And I knew that there is something, this is not made up. It's who makes this up, you know? I knew, okay, if this is true, this must be, maybe I don't understand everything right away, but this is the case, so let me research it and delve into it and
definitely a personality.
This is when it all started.
My mom suffers.
Oscar is saying that one of the things that they miss in the movie is the sweet spot about because people don't believe what they think about. And also that when you ask, that there are 3 types of asking, no? And one of them is like they ask for an emotion, no? About how you want. How you
they say the yachts, the houses, the Ferraris, but it's way beyond anyone's belief levels. They don't even think about it. And when they don't think about it, they don't get it. Very true, Oscar. Very true.
Yeah. But there's lots of
failed.
Lots of missing bits, or even when they did say something that was a part of it, it was just for a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
and you very much miss it very, very easily.
Very. I've done the same as you. I was saying, my mum suffers with clinical depression, my stepdad depression, my nan depression. So when I saw this movie, as you say, like, oh my God, you've got to see it, Mario, you've got to see it, you've got to see it. And I showed my mum a lot of rubbish. Okay.
Yeah.
Just then.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Now we got people like Kevin Trudeau teaching us the deepest of the deep secrets.
So guys, where is your brain? Where is it?
It's proven, isn't it? It's proven.
Where is your brain?
I don't know.
In your skull. I love this bit of the CD. We have a brain. I think it's in our skull.
That's right. I'd be worried if you said it's in your heart or it's in your back.
Or my back.
Backside.
My brain is in my backside.
Outside of your skull.
So what about your mind then? Because people kind of, you know, say brain, mind, brain, but actually, where is your mind? You know, it
surrounds the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
An aura. Religions call it different things.
Yeah. And you know, your brain it's a physical mass, right? So your brain is, here's your brain, right? But you can't say here's your mind. It's not a physical structure as such. And so, but the mind, so Dr. Joe's, this is just very interesting. It's just another way of defining what the mind is. So Dr. Joe Dispenza defines the mind as the brain in action. So it's the brain in its activity. That's what the mind is. So it's just his take on it, but it just helps you to kind of deepen your understanding about the mind. So did you want to say a bit more?
And the thoughts are the language of the mind, you know, the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. So, you know, there's a magnetic field around us.
Yeah. So, and this is just the reason why we're just explaining this, and this is not maybe in part of the audio, Kevin Trudeau's training, is because it helped us to just fill in a few gaps. And it's not like Kevin Trudeau's missing certain things, but I think he just chose to, I mean, there's so much to explain. So he's just
so the physical, so is it around the body or on the head? Is it around the body?
The mind.
Yeah, is it here, or is it like outside of the skull, or is it around the body? Is it like an aura?
It's like an aura, no?
It's like an aura, so you can't really say it just belongs here, it just belongs there. What Dr. Joe says, that, you know, you've got your conscious and your subconscious mind. So he says the subconscious mind is the body, and the conscious mind is sort of resides more here, because
hypothalamus, or is it not the hypothalamus in the brain?
Yeah,
the conscious thought, where
because it's the subconscious mind is. Whereas your body knows better than your mind. So just imagine, you know, when you're keying in a pin number or a code on a door. Have you ever had this? Because I know I have, that with my office door, what I do is I don't remember the actual numbers anymore, but I remember the sequence of how my fingers go. So your body remembers more than your conscious mind. So your body is the subconscious mind. In other words, that's everything stored in your subconscious mind. It becomes a what do you call it? A memorized pattern.
I've done it driving home. I know Kevin mentions it.
Yeah.
But I actually drive home and I go,
how did I get here?
I've completely no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. So is that so the subconscious mind is roughly explains as the body.
Yeah, so that's how Dr. Joe explains it, is your body, conscious mind is more here. So when your thoughts, if thoughts are the language of your brain and feelings are the language of your body, when your thoughts and feelings are aligned, so in other words, if you have a happy thought and you're feeling happy, your electromagnetic signature around your body is actually reflecting. Yeah. But if you have a happy thought but you're not feeling it, okay, I'm going to think really happy thoughts, but actually you're still feeling a bit angry inside.
Feel crappy.
Then thoughts and feelings aren't aligned, so you'll have a different type of electromagnetic field around your body. So
that's why positive affirmations sometimes don't work, because the feeling isn't matching, obviously,
they don't believe it.
Statement that you're sending out.
And so with law of attraction, you not only have to think something, but you've got to feel it too. So the feelings magnetize the event, situation, circumstance towards you, and the thought actually sends an electrical signal out into the universe. So you need both. Your thoughts and feelings both have to be in line. So if you're thinking thoughts of abundance, for example, wealth abundance, you've also got to feel it as if you've already got it, you know, and both of that has to be in line. There's no point thinking wealth abundance but actually feeling lack of it.
I've not realized the science, what you just explained, but I've used that so many times in the last 18 months.
Yeah, so the science behind it is Dr. Joe Dr. Joe is like neuroscientist, so he just shows all the science behind a lot of what Kevin Trudeau is saying. So it just helped us deepen our
that ups your belief level. Same as reading books.
Yeah, definitely. So the law of attraction works whether you believe it or not, right? Now that means you don't have to believe everything, right? Because the law of gravity exists whether you believe it or not, because if you're going to jump off a building,
you're going down.
You're going down, right?
Walk off a building. Maybe there's one guy on planet Earth that can levitate, but we're not dealing.
99.9% of the people. I've got to go down.
So Einstein and Edison obviously proved that the brain is a transmitter and receiver of frequency, energy, and vibration.
So does he mean, so the brain that I think I listened to something, I think it messed me up. I think it was the level 5 training, level 5, when it goes really deep, and I don't think I'm ready for it, but he says it's actually the mind that transmits. Is that wrong, or is it the brain?
The brain.
The brain, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So actually, you know, if you put an EEG machine, if you hook your brain up to an EEG machine, you can actually measure the frequencies, what your thoughts are doing, you know, the frequencies, and it actually shows up on an EEG machine. So there's electrical impulses going on in your brain. And so you're sending out an electrical signal out into the universe.
Oscar is saying about the brain, Jamie, that when you use your brain, the experiment in that, the other documentary, I don't remember, what the bleed do we know when the water crystallized with your brain, that
when you were angry, it was like red, and when you were happy and blissful, it was like a nice blue, I think. Yeah. Is that correct? I found that movie really difficult to watch. It was really difficult for me to understand it. I watched it 3 or 4 times, but the one thing I got out of it was what Kevin explained, was the water, and they measured water to a precise frequency, and they were, I think they were in like a train tunnel, or they were in some museum or something in the movie, and they've got all the water, and they've got a picture on the wall, and of what posters. Yeah, I got that. So what he's trying to say is, he's up in your belief level, isn't he, that the brain does actually emit. That's it. And Dr. Joe Dispenza's actually in that video as well. What the bleep do we know? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He talks now. When he was new, and now he's like younger, you know, very well. He's very famous now. So yeah, what were we going to say?
In fact, like every single cell in your body emits a different frequency, because everything in the universe is energy vibrating at a different frequency. Yeah. So you actually, the entire body is emitting a frequency out into the universe.
We have a choice.
Yes. Yes. And then, you know, I love this way that Kevin Trudeau actually explained frequency as radio waves. But yeah, that was really good. I mean, does anyone want to explain it? It's just I get it, but then I find it difficult to remember the actual the way he did it, the way he explained it.
I'll give it a go. With the difference between the difference, or just talk about them. The frequencies from a radio go in a straight line, and they have to bounce off different satellites in order to get to the other end of the globe. The difference with the brain is that when you emit a frequency, it can go from here to the other end of the earth in quicker than the speed of light, and it's got a unique characteristic where it's actually smaller than a radio frequency and can go through all matter, all atoms, all electrons, and that then it picks up other human brains and affects all matter in the universe, and that then attracts itself into your life.
Perfect.
Perfectly said. Wow.
Well done, Jamie. That was really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you, everyone.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
So,
you already answered the second question, which was what was the difference?
You answered already all the questions.
I did want to mention something in my notes. What I did put was that it's a little bit really of quantum
brain that is the fastest transmitter receiver frequency. Is actually the heart.
The heart
is magnetic. Talk about the heart. Magnetic.
So this is very this is our only little I wouldn't say criticism, but just a little thing that we didn't totally agree with the Wishes Your Command. So in the Wishes Your Command, Katie said that brain is the most powerful
transmitter and receiver of
frequency, energy, and vibration. However, the Heart Math Institute in California, which he disregarded in the video because somebody on one of the audios.
Nope, never heard of it.
Oh yeah, in the live training. He said heart math, and he said I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. So the Heart Math Institute.
Sorry, that was it.
You didn't have the teacher.
I was listening to it the other day. It's on level 2, and it's right at the end.
Yeah.
Or it could be at the end of the middle at the end of that day.
Yeah, and Kevin Trudeau disregarded the Heart Math Institute. He goes, never heard of it, and he goes, next question.
He didn't question it.
He just moved on.
Teachable. Ooh.
But the Heart Math Institute is based in California. There's a branch in the UK as well, the Heart Math UK. They've done tons and tons and tons of research between the mind, the brain-body connection, the brain-heart connection. And what they found is that the heart actually emits a frequency I think, now don't quote me on this, it's either 7 or 9 meters away from you. So if you are vibrating a level of love or gratitude, anyone within that 9 meters, that radius, will feel it. They won't know what's going on, but they'll feel the love.
They'll feel better.
They'll feel in that presence. Yeah. So actually, the heart, according to Heart Math Institute,
not across the globe, just 10 feet, 7 to 9 feet.
Yeah. So the heart is more powerful than the brain, but Katie says the brain is more powerful.
And I was introduced to the Heart Math Institute by Rhonda Burns, who talks about it in the Power book, which is her second book after The Secret.
And then Dr. Joe Dispenza works very, very closely with the Heart Math Institute, and he's done tons of research and 8,000 brain scans when people are meditating and creating things in their life. And he's worked very closely with the Heart Math Institute to see that actually the heart is the most powerful. So when you go into an event like a Dr. Joe Dispenza event, even if you're not feeling high vibration, you'll feel it from others that are emitting that frequency, and it's coming from the heart. And so your heart also, they almost say that the heart is also like a mini brain. It's another version of your brain.
There's 3 brains, isn't there?
Yeah, and you're constantly, the heart and the brain are constantly communicating with each other. And there's a whole load of science behind this. So this is the only thing we'll probably say with Kevin Trudeau's teachings.
Criticism.
It will be just a small little thing, but he probably knows this now. This was done back in
2009.
Always learning. Yeah.
So you know, there's so much more research being done now. You know, so
I think just to bore you all again, sorry, with the snooker, is that a lot of, like, even in sport, or not snooker, but sorry, football, golf, when they say play from the heart, maybe that was a watered down thing said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be completely wrong. Completely, but that's possibly a guess.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Because I've done it a couple of times. If I'm thinking of my nan who passed away or something, and I'm trying to plan, you do feel different when you think not from there and you think from there.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, that's a guess. That's not a basic.
Yeah.
That could be something.
It makes sense.
Swimming in the big blue.
So I was going to talk about the observer effect, but we won't go into that. I think we'll leave that. That's just another part of, that's not part of the CD.
We're maybe not ready for
it. Maybe another time. Yeah, because we were talking about quantum physics, that you know, actually scientists haven't found what the smallest particle in the world is, because it's probably not there. Because the electron, they thought the electron was the smallest particle, but if you look at an electron in an atom, even that's a wave. It's a particle wave. And the only reason you see it as a particle is because of the observer effect, because you're observing it. So your mind is actually affecting the wave, the electron, the energetic wave of the electron. And that's what causes you to actually see. So the reason why everything exists in the universe is because we are here to observe it. So
that's in Pocket Full of Money.
Yes. Yes.
Also.
And Dr. Joe Dispenza, again, he covers a whole chapter on it, the observer effect. So it's really interesting. So it's
I was reading that yesterday in Pocket Full of Money, and he says it says in there that I haven't read it enough to understand it, but the only reason things are there is because you're observing it.
You're observing it, yeah.
That was a bit beyond me at the moment.
Well, Jamie, if you think about it, if you close your eyes, you no longer can hear or see or taste or touch or smell. Nothing would exist. Because you won't be able to feel anything, you won't be able to see anything, you won't be able to hear anything, you won't be able to smell anything. So that nothing exists. The fact that things exist is because we're there to observe it with our 5 senses and perceive it.
Amazing.
So it's amazing, yeah. If you get really deep into it, it's like really, really incredible. So Jamie wonderfully explained what's the difference between the brain emitting a frequency and a radio frequency. And I think you covered it all. Was there anything else?
No. Repeat it to me again, because I was just going in a little spaced out.
Yeah, so you're saying the brain obviously travels instantaneously, can reach the other end of the planet, whereas radio waves can't travel in a straight line. They have to be bounced off different satellite dishes to reach, you know, these different areas. The brain is also the most powerful and most intense as well. So you're going to get that same intensity of signal right across the other planet, whereas radio wave frequencies won't. And then brain can travel through brick, mortar, steel, you name it.
You know the cool thing about when you say writing, people write goals and they when he says put out a desire, that really helps understand it, because you can't just have something, it's impossible. So you've got to think it first, and then it attracts across the universe. He says across the earth, but it attracts all these different, and then you see events of that frequency. You see the people come into your life, something happens, and then it starts coming to you. It's literally attracting it.
Armand, ¿puedes decir que hay un libro que lo explica súper bien y recomienda a Kevin, que se llama Un curso de milagros? Lo que pasa es que es demasiado extenso para hablar de ello, pero que ahí lo explica muy bien.
Yeah, Oscar is saying, maybe I think about what we were talking about, what you observe, you create. Oscar is saying that Kevin also recommends the book. I don't know what's the translation.
One Course on Miracles.
Yeah, Miracle Course. Miracle
Miracles.
Course.
Oh, the Course in Miracles.
Course of Miracles.
The Course in Miracles.
But it's a tough book, but
yeah, it's amazing. We have a lot of
Oscar, I think he was a trainer no, fuiste formador, ¿no?
Sí, 3 años.
He was trainer for 3 years, and then he discovered Yo Wish Yo Commando Dios.
Oh, wow. Yeah, trainer for Course in Miracles. Yeah.
Guys, I have to leave,
very
actually. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I have an appointment in 10 minutes.
Oh,
So, I need to go a little early today. I hope it's fine.
That's right.
Thank you for having me, and see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Yes, we'll see you on the next session.
Maybe a couple of weeks or something. Yeah, we'll WhatsApp you the next day.
Okay, perfect. Enjoy. See you later. Bye-bye.
Hey, Mario.
Bye-bye, Mario. Adiós, adiós.
Was that me last week? 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's going to the pub.
We're almost coming to the end.
Literally on the end in the last track 9. So obviously Kevin Trudeau talks, just quickly summarizes the law of attraction. It's a quantum law. It's senior to all other physical laws in the universe. It's senior to the law of lift. The law of lift is senior to the law of gravity. And just to remind you guys that you can be, do, and have anything and everything you want. And that sums up the session.
Just one more thing. I just got a little cognition about when the attitude's right, the facts don't count. So the attitude is the quantum law. It's a senior law, because your attitude it supersedes all the facts. Yeah. Whereas the facts are based on 5 sensory, your physical, what you perceive, what you see is facts.
The house under the training balance scale, which is only 0.1.
So your attitude supersedes the facts. Just like if you're
now it makes sense.
Because your attitude is on the Y side of the training balance scale, the 99.9% of it. So that when your attitude is right, the facts don't count, because that's the scale being balanced. It's like that. There's the how and there's the why.
So think of the attitude as a quantum law. It's the stuff that your 5 senses can't see, the 99.999%. And the facts are what your physical 5 senses can see, which is
That's amazing, Alice. That's amazing.
So when you have the right attitude, despite all the facts, like the economy is bad, there's no way you're going to make money, but your attitude is above
quantum physics, which is attracting,
then that supersedes the facts.
Then you wait for boats.
Yeah, in other words, people can prosper during economic decline. You know, it's almost like the impossible can happen, even though everything else tells you that it can't.
I'm gonna write all that down for I
That's really exciting. Like, I was like thinking, this is a new cognition I've got.
Did you just have a brainwave, or was that? Did you have that to say ready?
So no, that was a cognition I got
when we were studying this
3 or 4 weeks ago. No, maybe about a couple of months ago or something when I was doing it. Yeah, because we were doing a video on our YouTube channel about it, and then I
because I was just like, oh. Obviously, because like attitude right, the facts don't count. Blah, 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 getting it.
Do you mean that quote? If I understood well, is like that quote, or you resume is like all the law of attraction, no? Like the kind of the formula, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're looking at the facts, is the physical world, but what comes from the physical world is the attraction world, which is your thoughts.
Yeah, quantum world. Yeah, the quantum world. Yeah.
That was awesome. I forget. That's going down on paper.
So you can be, don't have anything and everything you want.
May you never be the same again. Stay tuned for the next session in 2 weeks' time. We'll be going over CD5.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking a little bit more about secret societies, the elite and ruling class of the world. and a bit more of quantum physics, the brain,
Wow.
the universe, and law of attraction. So
That's when he starts employing it then, but it really put it to work.
yeah, this is the exciting stuff. So stay tuned for that. So thank you all for participating.
Thank you.
See you at the next session.
Bye for now.
Bye.